Fourth grade into math, lesson 11.4. Relate degrees to fractional parts of a circle. So our overall I can statement for the month. So today's is I can find the measure of an angle by using its fractional part of a circle. Spark your learning. Based on what you know about the measurement of the shaded piece of the circle, how can you describe the measurement of the circle? Okay, so show me with your arms what a straight line looks like. So it's like this, right? Okay. It's like this. Okay? So if I come, how many degrees is this? Anybody know? 180, right? So if I bring one of my arms up like this, what am I at now? Am I half of that straight line? Yes. So I would have what? 90-degree angle. Okay? So this in the little box also represents. Okay, so we have 90 degrees right here, and that little box also indicates that, right? Okay, and so down here on the definition part, we just kind of did that talking, right? We put our arms out straight, that gets us 180 degrees. If you bring it up halfway, so half of 180 is 90, okay? Okay, so we also said when we have our arms out straight, that's 180 degrees. So that would only go straight through the middle of the circle. If I went all the way around this circle, so I went all the way around, here's 90. How many sections can be in a circle? 4, right? So what is 4 times 90? 360. So 4 times 9 is 36, but you still have to add to 0, right? So all the way around that circle is what? 360 degrees. Build understanding number 1. Circles can be divided into measurement units called degrees. How can you relate the fractional terms of a circle to degrees? So over here, connect to vocabulary. Angles are measured with reference to a circle as they turn around a center point. The size of the angle is the measure of how far one side is turned from the other side. Angles are measured in units called degrees. The symbol for degrees is the little circle up in the air, right? Okay, so how can you write a fraction to represent quarter turns in a circle? So what would 1/4 be represented as a fraction? 1/4. Okay. What is 2/4 of a turn? 2/4 or 1/2, right? 3/4 of a turn is what? 3/4. And blank is 4/4 turn. 1 whole, right? So 4/4 or 1 whole. Okay, so blank quarter turns make a full turn on a circle. What did we just say? 1, right? Okay. Or actually it's 4/4 turn, so the numerator, right? Okay. So how can you show the number of 8 turns it takes to make a full turn on a circle? So 8, what's going to be our denominator? 8, right? Okay, so how many 8 turn would it take? 8 eighths, right? Which is also 1 whole. How many 1/120th turns would it take to make a full turn around the circle? 120, right? So that would be a lot of little slivers, right? Okay, but it would take 120th of those to make a full turn. Okay. Letter D. How many 1/360th turns would it take to make a full turn around the circle? 360, right? And all these equal what, guys? 1, right? Think of a circle divided into 360 equal parts. So it's kind of like letter D, right? An angle that turns through 1/360th of the circle measures 1 degree. Okay, so they gave us this little picture, and like we said, that would be like a ton of little bitty sections cut out, right? Okay, we have to do a whole bunch, and they kind of show us that. See how long they had to extend those rays? Because if they wouldn't have, would they all look just like one? Yeah, they're that small, right? So how can you use degrees to describe the measure of an angle that has 8/100 let me restate that. How can you use degrees to describe the measure of an angle that has 8, 1, and 360th turns? So how many degrees would that be? 8 degrees, right? Because we talked about, so you'd write it as 8 degrees, or 8 with the little bitty circle in the upper right hand corner, right? Okay. Now, because we said how many degrees is a full circle? 360, right? Okay. So they want to know 8 of those 360. Okay, so number 2, drafters prepare technical drawings for all kinds of designs. A drafter draws this fractional part of the circle for a project. How can you find the measure of the angle in degrees? Okay, so like I said, we know that that full circle is what? 360 degrees. But do they want the full circle? No, they just want that one little 1/9 piece, right? Okay, they just want that one little part. So we can get an equivalent fraction using the denominator of 360, right? So our fraction that they gave us for that little piece is 1/9. And then we know the total degrees around is 360. So how did I get from 9 to 360? Okay, put your basic facts in a box, right? So how many times does 9 go into 36? 4 times, and then I have to add a 0. So what I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So the measure of the angle is 40 degrees. Okay, real quick, connect to vocabulary. Acute, an angle that measures greater than 0 degrees and less than 90 degrees. Number 3, angles are named by the way that they relate to 0, 90 degrees, or 180 degrees. What is the name of each angle? So once again, show me a straight line with your arm. Okay, show me a right angle with your arm. If I make my arm go a little bit over, does my angle get bigger or smaller this time? Bigger, so that's a what type of angle? Obtuse. If I bring it in and put it over my head, which of course will pretend like it goes straight over your head, or I can do my arm straight here and go up a little bit. What kind of angle is this? Acute, because it's less than 90, right? So 65 degrees would be what? Is 65 more or less than 90? Less. So it's what type of angle? Acute. The next one is exactly 90 degrees. So what is that? Right? Oh, let's put angle. What is 175? Is that more or less than 90? It's more, so it would be what? Obtuse angle. Okay, 240. Is that more than 90 or less than 90? More than 90. Is it more than 180 or less than 180? More than 180. So it's a reflex angle. And then 180. Is that more or less than 90? More. Is it more or less than 180? It's exact or equal to, right? So what is that? Straight. It's a straight angle. Step it out. Number 4. Architects often use circles when designing buildings. How can you find the measure of an angle from the fractional part of the circle formed by the window? Okay, so to estimate, describe the angle. So what kind of angle do we have? Is it more than 90, less than 90?
It's less than 90.
Okay, so it's less than 90, so the angle is less than 90 degrees, right? Okay, so then we know it has to be what type of angle? Acute, right? Okay. Okay, determine the fraction of a circle that any one angle turns. Okay, so basically, how many total pieces are there in that circle? 12. So our one angle represents 1/12 of that circle, right, guys? So write an equivalent fraction to find the measure of the angle. So we have 1/12. What do I have to take times 12? Put my basic fact in a box. How do I get from 12 to 36? 3, and then I have to add a 0. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 1 times 30 is 30. Okay, so the measure of the angle from the fractional part of the circle formed by the window is 30 degrees. So you can either write the little 0 up to the top, right, to the degree sign, or you can actually write out the word degrees. But is 30 degrees less than 90?
Yeah.
So does that go with our first statement on A, that it's less than 90 or an acute angle?
Yeah.
Yes. Check understanding number 1. Write the measure of the shaded angle in degrees. So once again, show me a straight angle like this. Okay, show me a right angle like this. Okay, show me an obtuse angle like this. Show me an acute angle. Okay, all right, let's figure out what we get here. So I have 1/2 equals, and how much is a full circle? 360. So I'm going to put my basic facts in a box. How did I get from 2 to 36? From 2 to 18, right? And then add a 0. What I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So 180 degrees. Now, if I could not do that mentally, could I come over here and take 360 divided by 2? Yep, and then worked it out, right? Okay, and done my steps. Right? And I could have worked it out that way. Number 2, classify the angle, right? Acute, right? Obtuse, straight, or reflex. So, is it less than 90? No. So it's not an acute. Is it more than 90?
Yes.
Yes. So it could be obtuse. It could not be right, or it could be a reflex or straight. Is it straight? No. So show me with your arm. Straight is how many degrees? 180 degrees. And then reflex is greater than 180. So what is it? It's a reflex angle.